Viewers and subscribers, welcome back to Beating the Press podcast. Today, we are going to be reviewing the two big games on the weekend. We saw Arsenal running away 1-0 winners over Leicester, and Spurs beating Chelsea again 2-0. Now, joining me today to review these two matches, we have with us Carey.
Yes, viewers and subscribers, we're here once again. Just want to take this opportunity. Last week, one of our fellow Monroonians succumbed to his injury. So we just want to take this opportunity to tell everybody, so listen, man, life is short. So make the most of it. Our condolences goes out to the family, of course. So right now, if you have the chance, just tell the people you love, your friends, your family, tell them say you love them, because reality is we don't know what will happen tomorrow to either us or to the persons we love. So just make the most out of life right now. It is precious. It's a good day to be alive. Not everybody has the opportunity. So just do what we have to do and enjoy life.
Yes, indeed, a clear-cut message here I also endorse, condolences goes out. But life goes on, we have to continue the fight to life, so we just gotta push on. But changing gears a bit, we're gonna jump straight into reviewing these matches. The first match we're gonna be looking at is the Arsenal-Leicester game, where Arsenal, again, another victory, sitting top of the league, 1-0 over Leicester. Kiri, talk to us about that match. How did you see it? Give us a match overview, and what are your thoughts on the result?
I mean, how could I put it? It's the most dominant one day, I think, we have seen this season, where Arsenal totally bossed the game from start to finish. Leicester ended up with one shot, which came in the 71st minute, and it was just a shot out of, I guess, frustration or effort. It wasn't a shot that troubled the keeper whatsoever. It wasn't a shot that caused any form of anxiety to anyone whatsoever. It was just a shot like that. It was very, very dominant. Arsenal, from the kick of the ball, we saw the intention of Arsenal. Let's go out. We're better than these lads. Let's show them that we're better than them. At one point, you actually felt like the match was being played at the Emirates, because Leicester had absolutely zero control of the game whatsoever. The first 20 minutes possession was like 80% 20, with Arsenal just bossing around, doing whatever they want to do with the ball. So it went somewhat as we expected, maybe not that dominant. So we're really pleased to see the starting 11, because for a while I've been begging for Nketiah to kind of, you know, go on the bench a bit and get a breather then,
Yes,
and
yes.
allow Martinelli and Trossard to play. And Arteta finally gave that tweak, and it paid off in dividends. It was the most fluid Arsenal has looked in recent matches. So I'm really proud of the lads. They went out, they got the job done. They got the job done. So happy about that.
Yes, yes, it was definitely, as you say, a dominant game by Arsenal. Pretty much Leicester was really toothless in their attacking prowess. We saw the sequence of the game. It was pretty much Arsenal in control and Leicester putting up a stern defense and then trying to play on the break. But each time Arsenal lost the ball, there was not much in terms of the Leicester counter attack. A few dangerous moments, but those moments were quickly snuffed out by Saliba and Gabriel. I think Gabriel had one of his better games of the season, and it pretty much
Definitely.
resulted in, I believe, a record low XG for Leicester in terms of, since the statistics of XG is being recorded, I believe this is a record. I believe Leicester recorded what, 0.01 XG?
Right. So to explain that to persons who may not understand, there was basically a 1% chance that Leicester would have scored against us. It was that horrible from them. And I don't want to say horrible from them to an extent as the master class that we saw from Saliba and Gabriel. And you could see the confidence oozing from Gabriel, to be honest. You could see the confidence. He
Mm,
went up each header, he was fully confident he would. His position was excellent. He totally had, in my opinion, his best game of the season. That was displayed Saturday. He was totally oozing confidence across the pitch, and I guess that kind of Saliba was in and out of form, but I guess because of the confidence he also has in Gabriel, we also saw a better version of Saliba that we have seen in previous weeks. Because Saliba, there's a point in the match where on the left side, Leicester was coming down, and Saliba made a sprint almost from half line and beat the two Leicester players to the ball, and he did it almost effortlessly. He was in control. So the two centre back pairing, they were brilliant on Saturday. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
Yes, that was definitely the standout for me. At times the game was a bit disjointed somewhat, lots of throws, a few fouls here or there. But the standout performance for me was the Arsenal centre-back pairing. I believe they indeed had a brilliant game and was in full control of stemming the counter-attack. As I mentioned, the strategy was clear from the start, where Leicester would soak up pressure and try to catch Arsenal on the break. But for whatever reason or whatever tactical reasons Arteta had planned, I figured he had a similar expectation in mind. So he pretty much set up his defensive reinforcement to quickly snuff out any potential counter and any potential dangerous moments. And once those counter attacks were broken up, Leicester had nothing else to offer. We
Nothing
saw a
whatsoever.
few changes in the latter part of the game, but it was a similar story. At times, Arsenal had to do a bit of defending, but Leicester created very little in the way of chances, if not any at all. I believe Ramsdale had a very quiet game in goal. I can't recall him making a single save.
The only thing Ramsdale did, it was also a record for Arsenal since the season. Ramsdale had the fewest touches he has had since the season started. He made a goal kick here and there, and his delivery was good. His passes to the players were good, but that was about it. His distribution was good. He didn't really, honestly, we probably could have played the match without Ramsdale. It was a poor attacking display from Leicester.
So
Honestly, we could have
tactically
done.
though, from a tactical point
Mhm.
of view, did we see anything different from Arsenal, or is just a one-trick pony leading from the gun?
No, well, I mean, outside of the change, I call it because for persons, we have another forum. We have a WhatsApp forum. And when Arsenal struggled to hit the target in the first half, I said that, Martinez should move from the left and come into the middle and play the straight out false nine attacking striker. And we shift Trossard to the left. And that's exactly what Arteta did at the start of the half. And within a minute and 30 seconds, Martinelli got the goal. When
Mm.
it comes to the pressing, we didn't see the usual space pressing. We saw a man-to-man pressing from Arsenal, and that is slightly different. The normal pressing is where Arsenal would kind of lock down the passing options for the opponents. It wasn't necessarily that wasn't the case Saturday. We saw a man-to-man pressing, and that really, really stopped Leicester's flow in the game. So Jorginho, he had another wonderful game. His ball retention was excellent as well. His ball retention was excellent. Xhaka, he played well despite he could have made one or two better passes. So that kind of made life also easier for Gabriel and Saliba.
I must give credit though to the Leicester defense, to be honest. With the dominance of Arsenal in possession, the Leicester defense really stood firm, and it took a brilliant moment there to really unlock their defense. And then even when they went 1-0 down, they were still pretty firm and solid around the back. So there are some positives to take away from the game for Leicester. Defensively very stout, especially playing at home. And as I mentioned, with the Arsenal dominance in position and the number of attacking players Arsenal have at their disposal, along with the confidence which seemed to be oozing through the team at this moment. I was impressed somewhat with the fact that the game did not get away from Leicester. And even in the latter moment, they were still in with a
Mhm.
chance of even pulling out a draw. Granted, they did not create much, but the fact that you're only 1-0 up, leading close up to 90 minutes, it does give a chance to the team in pursuit of that equalizing goal. But Arsenal again coming out 1-0 winners. The train continues to trattle. And we see coming
That's
up
fine. As I
midweek,
said, we can.
yes, they're gonna be playing Everton. I guess that proverbial game in hand. So they could be even 3 points further
Right.
away from Man City come the start of the weekend. So,
And
so
you see, and
yes.
that's how you can answer that. They're definitely in for the title. Right. That's how you can say Arsenal is really serious about trying to fight for the title. As I said, it was a dominant performance. Some person said, "Boy, it's just 1-0, might be an ugly win, but it's a pretty 3 points." And reality is, at this point of the season, 3 points, it doesn't matter if you get it by your own goal and you win 1-0, doesn't matter how you get the 3 points right now. The 3 points necessary because it looks right now that Pep definitely will try to avoid dropping any points whatsoever. And we know he has the team and the ability to go on amazing runs.
Yes, yes, you always have to be wary of that of the chasing pack in the form of Man City. But segueing across, we did have another massive game taking place on Sunday. A London derby. We had Spurs playing host to Chelsea, and we saw where the Spurs team came away 2-0 winners. Is this another nail in the Potter's coffin?
I think we're at the point in the season now where we should stop calling Chelsea games massive games because for this season, they're our typical mid-table team,
Mm.
and they went out Sunday and they showed us why they're a mid-table team. They look very disjointed, no form of chemistry. It seems that, for example, they pass the ball to Sterling. Sterling does something on his own, and the play comes to an end. They pass the ball to Enzo. He does something on his own, comes to an end. Felix, same thing. So I don't really see a form of chemistry and a form of team. It's just 11 individuals out there doing their own thing. Don't know if that's a reflection of the players not adhering to the coach, or it's simply the coach has no plans, no apparent plans, because persons were saying give Potter some time, but he's been given time and we still haven't seen an outright plan for Potter. We haven't seen a process, we haven't seen anything really from it. The players are just out there like headless chicken, just running around here and there.
Mm.
They have only scored one goal in the month of February. And with spending over 700 million coming into the season from the summer to January, scoring one goal in an entire month is absolutely atrocious. But on the flip side, Spurs seem to be going for that Champions League spot. Kane got his goal. I think Kane is having a very good season, but Haaland is being Haaland. So we kind of overlook what Kane is doing. But Kane is having a very good haul with goals this season.
Yes, much of his play seemed to be going under the radar, as you said, probably overshadowed by the brilliance of Haaland. But Kane is doing quite well and pretty much leading this Spurs team or jogging this Spurs team up the table. They're pretty much sitting in what, fourth position currently, and
Right.
pretty much moving away from Newcastle, who is in fifth, and somewhat solidifying their position in the top four. It was a pretty solid game, I would say, from the Spurs team, not totally dominant. 2-0 may very well be a good reflection of the game. I had
Definitely.
earlier predicted 1-0, but they went that extra goal up. A brilliant goal there to open the scoring by Skip, the youngster in the Spurs midfield. It was a really good hit from outside the 18-yard box, and it gave Kepa little or no chance of saving it. And it so happened that it came just after the restart, after halftime. Oftentimes teams seem to be more vulnerable after a break, but everything the
Mhm.
manager would have said to Chelsea would have gone through the door from the very first minute, having conceded so quickly after halftime. So all the technical and tactical changes which they would have made at the half, all of that now had to be revamped. So it was a very deafening goal, and you could just see that the confidence just drained out of the Chelsea team once that strike went in, and there was not much they could do to rectify the situation. Potter is now coming under pressure. The Chelsea fans are making a lot of noise. But
Mhm.
personally,
Mhm.
I do think Potter needs time. He has inherited a team which is plagued by injuries when he first took up the mantle. And having made so many signings during the January transfer window, he is gonna need time to get everyone firing on the same page. There's no
Right.
two ways
Mhm.
about it, but we're in the business of results, and the results haven't been going Chelsea ways in this game and in previous matches as well. So something has to give. But it would be a shame to see the manager go without giving him the full process of a pre-season, getting everyone fit, getting his philosophy across, and seeing what he can actually do at this level. It would be very sad. So, from me, I think Pata is a good coach, and I think given time, he will get the players and the team on the right page, and results will come. What say you?
Well, to be honest, I can remember a time, and I'm sure a lot of Arsenal fans and football fans remember when Arteta just came to Arsenal. There was a period where we won one match out of 11. We won one, we draw two, and we lost eight. And it was a very horrid time. But the difference with Potter and Arteta, because I've seen Potter press conferences and he keeps on mentioning Arteta. He has mentioned Arteta for the past 3 weeks now. So I think that is him somewhat diplomatically begging for time. But at the same time, despite Arsenal and Arteta were losing matches, you could have seen the game plan by Arteta. You could have seen Arteta plan. You could see his tactics, somewhat his formation, or what he's trying to achieve. With Potter, whereas a couple months in, I was still failing to see some tactics from him, and I think that is what's really annoying the Chelsea fans because I'm pretty sure if they were seeing some glimmer of hope, they would have said, "All right, give him some time." But
Mm.
they're not seeing any outstanding game plan, any change in formation, any outstanding tactics from him whatsoever. So I think that is where the frustration is coming in. And I believe in the next 3 matches, if he fails to win those three or win two out of the next 3 matches, I think it might be a curtain call for him.
Mm. But getting back to this game specifically, though, what did you see in the form of tactics from both teams, and who were the key performers?
For me, Skip. Despite the goal, he kind of showed Enzo to an extent because the dribble past Enzo, who came in for
Mm.
100 and 110 million, and
Yes,
players were
yes.
just running around him as if he was even there, like a cone. So you just
Ah,
have to look at that. So maybe it's probably too much money spent there. Who knows? Or we can just give the players and the coach time. But you could tell that Tottenham came in this match and they knew that they were the better team. And one thing we have to remember is that Conte is not on the sidelines. And I think
right, right.
persons are not realizing that it is the
Mm.
assistant coach for the past couple of matches who have been putting on a brilliant display. So kudos to him. And
Yes, yes.
he read Chelsea like a book. He know exactly what to do to Chelsea because they lost it in the midfield battle. And I think putting in Skip in this big game, let's go with the word big game because it's a London derby,
Yes,
of
yes.
course. that was a brilliant addition from him. And Kane, Kane is going to be Kane, to be honest. I don't really have much comment on the tactics per se because at this point in stage, I don't want to make it sound like I'm knocking at Chelsea, but Chelsea has no form of structure right now. So as long as a team come out well structured, I believe they will beat Chelsea. So
Well,
Spurs came out.
yeah,
Mhm.
one
Spurs
tactic
came
that
out.
I saw though from the Spurs team over the last couple of games is bringing Son off the bench. Son seemed to
Mhm.
be doing quite well. I must say, with his new found role, really
Bro,
coming off the
super sub.
bench, right,
Yeah, man,
and
super
adding a
sub.
lot of impetus to the Spurs attack whenever he does come onto the field. So that must have been a deliberate move. Richarlison got another start, but the impact of sub from the bench is definitely something to look at going forward, and he may yet play a pivotal role in securing that top four spot for Spurs. I guess from a Chelsea point of view, again, from the preview, I lamented the fact that Potter too many changes. I think Potter needs to settle on a starting 11, try to see
Mhm.
what he can get from that 11, and then make one or two changes. But I think for this game, he somewhat made some tweaks again from the team that played in the Champions League. And I believe it was about four changes from the team that played in the
Right.
league the
Four or
previous.
five. Mhm.
Right. But I can see some evidence where he is definitely trying to foster that best 11, so to speak, with, I think, minimal changes. I don't think the changes were as much as previous week. So I believe he is getting to know his players, and I believe in time, time, I believe he will get the results. But, in football these days, time is a precious commodity. And if you're not getting
I
the
tell you.
result, then you're pretty much asking for trouble. But just to wrap things up, or just to wrap up the weekend, any final thoughts?
Very interesting weekend. Arsenal back 2 points ahead. The match midweek is going to be so vital. I hope they can capture those 3 points. Shout out to Manu. They won the EFL Cup on Sunday. So I know it's when we may not see it as a major trophy, but it ended a 6 year for them. So I know they're happy about that. So that is good. The relegation battle has gotten way more interesting with turn of events over the weekend. So the weekend was a nice, we enjoyed it as football fans. We definitely enjoyed it. So looking forward to this weekend. Hopefully produces the same amount of excitement and intensity for us.
Yes, I could not have said it better. The first trophy of the season going there to Manu, and I'm hearing talks of quadruple. You know, I'm hearing the Manu fans saying quadruple. So we'll definitely see how that one pans out, but they're in it to win it. So who to tell? We may yet see history being created. Right. But again, another exciting week, and we look forward to more football coming up on this weekend. But I'd just like to thank Carey again for coming on and sharing his thoughts and his opinions. I'd like to thank our viewers and subscribers for continuing to stay with us and continuing to, participate in commenting and sharing. And pretty much there's not much left to say, but this is Rafa signing off.